I never thought a simple plant would change the way I felt about my home or my life. But a week after placing a snake plant in one forgotten corner of my living room, things started shifting in ways I couldn't ignore. Not dramatically, just noticeably. The air felt lighter, my sleep deeper. A tension I hadn't realized was there seemed to quietly release. And maybe it's coincidence, or maybe it isn't. But days later, an unexpected opportunity landed in my inbox. For months, I'd been stuck. Not in crisis, but in a kind of invisible standstill where everything seemed fine on the outside, yet nothing quite moved forward. If you've ever looked around your home and felt something was off, but couldn't name it, you'll understand. This video isn't about magical thinking or decorating tips. It's about space. The space we live in and the energy it either holds or blocks. I'm not here to convince you that a plant will make you wealthy. But I am saying this: wealth, peace, momentum, they often need an open path, and sometimes all it takes is one small shift to create that opening. Today, I want to share the story of how a single plant became that shift for me. Not because it fixed everything, but because it reminded me that energy flows where we invite it. And when it comes to prosperity, flow is everything. So if you've ever felt like your home is clean but somehow stuck, or that good things are circling but not quite landing, keep watching. This might be the simplest change you've never considered, and exactly where your next chapter begins. Part 1: When your home blocks your flow. I didn't buy the plant to change my life. I bought it because a quiet voice, one I'd been ignoring for months, finally spoke up and said, "This corner needs something alive." I wasn't searching for a transformation. I wasn't trying to rearrange my life by rearranging my living room. I was simply tired of feeling stuck. Not dramatic, rock bottom stuck, just the quiet kind. The kind where things look fine but don't feel right. Where your house is clean but cold. Where you sleep but don't rest. Where money comes in but never seems to stay. I'd spent months in that space, and I don't just mean the physical space of my home. I mean the emotional one too, the daily cycle of doing what I needed to do while waiting for something to shift. I couldn't tell if it was me, my routine, or just the rhythm of life, but everything felt paused until that plant entered the picture. A snake plant, simple, upright, dark green leaves with bold yellow edges, nothing fancy, but something about it felt strong. I placed it in the southeast corner of my living room, not because I believed it would bring wealth, but because someone I trusted once told me that's where energy can unlock. That was it. No rituals, no expectations. Just one quiet decision to introduce something alive into a space that felt numb. And within days, I began to notice what I hadn't noticed before. The air in my home didn't just smell cleaner, it felt lighter. My thoughts weren't just clearer, they moved. I started sleeping through the night again, the kind of sleep that lets your body unclench. The kind where you wake up feeling like your mind finally went somewhere soft and came back whole. I didn't connect it to the plant at first. But then an old business partner emailed me out of nowhere. Not a coincidence, I thought, but I didn't want to believe it yet. Still, I couldn't deny that something had opened. The energy around me had changed. Life wasn't charging at me, it was flowing to me. And that's what this video is about. It's not about a plant, it's about flow. About the way our homes either hold space for wealth and movement or silently block it. I know that sounds abstract, but here's the thing. Energy in a home isn't about crystals or candles. It's about what your space allows in and what it quietly keeps out. We've all walked into homes that feel heavy, even if they are spotless. We've all sat in rooms that feel tight, even with the windows open. And we've all had days, weeks, months where everything feels delayed, like good news is circling but never landing. When that happens, we tend to blame ourselves. We think we need to try harder, push more, plan better. But sometimes it's not about effort. Sometimes it's about energy, and energy needs a place to go. Your home isn't just a backdrop to your life. It's a living participant. It holds your thoughts, your fears, your hopes. And if you're not careful, it can also hold onto your stuckness. That corner in my living room, the one that now holds the snake plant, it used to be just an empty space. Nothing wrong with it, but also, Nothing alive in it, and that mattered more than I knew, because energy flows where life is welcomed, and wealth, real, sustainable prosperity, needs movement, it needs circulation. When things are stuck in your space, money gets stuck too. Opportunities skip over. Ideas dim before they even form. Relationships strain, not because you're doing something wrong, but because your environment is quietly echoing the stagnation back to you. That's what my plant helped me realize. It didn't bring me money, it didn't fix my life, but it did something far more powerful. It invited in movement. It whispered to the space around it, "This corner is alive now." And somehow that one shift began to ripple. The southeast corner in Feng Shui is known as the wealth sector. But even if you don't believe in Feng Shui, think of it this way. When you bring life into the places you've ignored, the parts of your life that have felt ignored begin to stir too. That's not magic, that's awareness, that's attention. And attention is one of the most powerful forms of energy we have. When we direct it intentionally, whether through a plant, a rearranged room, or even a deep breath, something opens, something shifts. And that shift is what creates the conditions for wealth, peace, and clarity to enter. Since placing that plant, things haven't been perfect, but they've flowed. Clients returned. Ideas landed. Even my mornings, once slow and tangled, now feel steady, like something in the air is holding me instead of pressing down on me. I share this not to sell you on plants or Feng Shui. I share this because I know what it's like to feel like you're doing everything right and still not moving. I know what it's like to live in a beautiful home that doesn't quite feel like yours. And I know the quiet power of making one small change and watching everything else begin to soften, then shift, then move. So if you've been feeling blocked, if wealth or peace or forward motion has felt just out of reach, I invite you to look around. Not with judgment, but with curiosity. Is there a part of your home that feels lifeless? Is there a corner you've stopped noticing? Maybe that's where the energy is stuck. And maybe, just maybe, all it needs is something alive, something quiet, something rooted, something like a plant that doesn't promise miracles but quietly makes space for them. Part 2: One small plant, a big energy shift. I didn't set out to change my energy. I just wanted to feel better in my own home, and if I'm being honest, I didn't even know what that meant. I wasn't looking for transformation, I was looking for relief, something gentle, something honest, something that didn't require a complete overhaul of my life. That's when I remembered a quiet conversation over coffee. A friend of mine, someone who never rushed their words, once told me that energy doesn't always shift with effort. Sometimes it shifts with attention. He had looked around my home that day, not critically, just curiously, and said, "There's nothing alive in here, nothing breathing. That's why you feel so heavy." I shrugged at the time, thinking it was just one of those poetic things people say. But later that evening, his words sat with me. They echoed louder than I expected. That night, as I stood in my living room, I saw what he meant. Every object had its place. The lighting was warm enough. The space was technically fine, but something was missing. There was no life, no pulse, no soft movement of something growing. That realization didn't overwhelm me. It just made me pause, and in that pause, I decided to try something small, not because I believed it would change everything, but because I was open to the possibility that it might change something. The next morning, I found myself at a quiet little plant shop a few blocks away. I wasn't sure what I was looking for. I just wandered until one particular plant caught my attention, a snake plant. Tall, structured. Its dark green leaves edged with yellow stood like blades, not flashy but confident. It felt stable, like something that wouldn't ask too much from me but also wouldn't quietly fade into the background. I brought it home, wiped each leaf with a damp cloth, and placed it exactly where my friend had suggested, the southeast corner of my living room. That was it. No incense, no affirmations, no rearranging the furniture. Just one deliberate placement, one gesture of, let's see. What happened next wasn't dramatic. It was subtle, so subtle I might have missed it if I wasn't paying attention. But I was, because for the first time in a while I was curious. That night the air felt different, not scented, not cooler or warmer, just easier to breathe. Like a window had cracked open somewhere in the room, even though none had. I fell asleep quicker than usual, slept through the night without tossing or waking. When I opened my eyes the next morning, I didn't feel the familiar weight I had gotten used to carrying. My thoughts weren't racing. My chest didn't feel tight. I wasn't trying to motivate myself out of bed. I just got up. And that's when I started to notice that maybe the energy in my home had started moving. Maybe it had been still for so long I forgot what flow felt like. Over the next few days, more small things shifted. I found myself finishing tasks I had been putting off. I replied to emails I'd let sit for weeks. I reached out to someone I had been meaning to check on. Then came the unexpected message from an old work contact, opening the door to a new opportunity, something I didn't even realize I had been hoping for. It's not that the plant caused these things. It's that something opened the moment I made space for life, and that opening had a ripple effect. One small change invited others. The snake plant became more than just decor. It became a signal, a message to myself and to the space I lived in. This home is awake again. When we talk about wealth and prosperity, we often think about numbers, bank accounts, jobs, outcomes. But before any of those things arrive, there has to be room for them, not just in our schedules or budgets, but in our energy, our mindset, our physical environment. A stagnant room can quietly reinforce a stagnant life. A cluttered corner can reflect a cluttered thought. And sometimes one clear and living presence in a room is enough to tell your subconscious, it's safe to move forward now. That's what the snake plant did for me. It didn't make me rich, but it gave me the space to breathe, think, feel, and notice again. And from there, wealth, not just in money, but in clarity, momentum, connection, began to flow. What's powerful about something as simple as placing a plant is that it requires no massive shift, no spiritual belief, no complete renovation. It's small, but it's specific. It's an act of intention, not perfection, and intention is what stirs energy. That's why when people ask me now if I really believe in plants changing your life, I don't try to convince them. I just tell them my story, how something small made a noticeable difference, how one living object changed the conversation in my home, from quiet and stuck to calm and moving. You don't need to believe in energy to benefit from a better flow. You don't have to study Feng Shui to notice that some corners in your home feel better than others. And you don't have to commit to a lifestyle shift to place one plant in one spot and simply observe. Start with the space you've stopped noticing, the part of your home that feels like it's just there, that corner you walk past without seeing, that shelf that hasn't changed in years. Start there, because wealth in every form flows where there's room, light, and something alive to meet it. Part 3. Wealth energy doesn't need to be loud. We're taught to think wealth makes noise, that when abundance enters your life, it does so with fireworks and celebration, big wins, dramatic changes, obvious signs. But the truth is, real wealth energy doesn't arrive like that. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't always show up as a raise or a check in the mail. Sometimes it moves through your life in quiet ways, subtle but steady. And if you're not present, you might miss it completely. The first sign of wealth energy shifting in my home wasn't money, it was air. The way the room began to feel lighter even though nothing had visibly changed. No new furniture, no renovations, just a small living thing placed in a forgotten corner. That softness in the room, that quiet ease, that was the first form of prosperity. It told me that life, which had once felt stuck, was moving again, that I was safe to breathe, to rest, to let go of the invisible weight I'd been carrying. And that's the kind of wealth that often goes unnoticed because it doesn't look like success in the traditional sense. It looks like clarity, like peace, like a good night's sleep after weeks of tossing. It looks like making decisions with confidence instead of overthinking everything. It looks like returning home and actually feeling home. That is wealth. But it's easy to overlook when you're only chasing the loud versions of abundance. The truth is, wealth energy flows best in environments that feel calm, open, and intentional. It's less about what you own and more about what your space allows. A home that feels tense, cluttered, or emotionally noisy will often repel the very things you're trying to attract. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because the energy simply has no room to land. Imagine wealth as a breeze. It doesn't break down your door. It waits for the windows to be open. The snake plant I placed in my home didn't bring fortune because of some mystical property. It became the thing that helped me open the window. Not literally, but energetically. It helped me shift my focus from what was missing to what could be welcomed. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions about prosperity, that it has to be pursued. In reality, wealth often comes when you stop chasing and start making space. You don't need more effort, you need more alignment. And sometimes, alignment begins with something as simple as how your space feels. When people walk into a home and say, "It feels good in here," that's not an accident, that's not decoration. That's energy doing what it's supposed to do, flowing without friction. That feeling often begins with the presence of something living, something quiet, and something placed with care. The snake plant brings all three. Its upright form carries a strong, upward energy. Its colors are grounding, and it asks for very little while offering quite a lot. You don't have to believe in Feng Shui to notice its effect. You just have to pay attention to how your breathing changes when you sit near it, to how your mind quiets down a little when you're in the room, to how your sleep deepens. These are not coincidences, they are signals that the space around you is softening, that energy is finally moving, that you are no longer in resistance. When wealth shows up like that, it's easy to dismiss, because it doesn't look like a lottery ticket. But over time, those small shifts compound. A clear mind leads to better choices. Better choices lead to stronger relationships, more aligned work, clearer boundaries. And those things, in turn, create the conditions where wealth in all forms, money, time, joy, can enter and stay. That is how real prosperity builds, slowly, quietly, in rooms where tension has been released and intention has returned. So no, wealth energy doesn't need to be loud, but it does need your presence, your awareness, your willingness to let go of what's blocking it. And very often that begins with your environment, with the corner you haven't touched in years, with the dusty shelf that's become invisible, with the belief that nothing changes unless you change everything. In truth, most transformations begin with one small decision. A moment of clarity that says, what if I just try? That's what I did with the plant. I didn't expect a miracle, but I opened a small door. And sometimes, that's all energy is waiting for. An invitation, not a demand, not a desperate wish. Just a quiet yes that shifts everything. If you're waiting for prosperity to crash into your life, I invite you to shift your lens. Look for the small ways it's already trying to arrive. In the peace that comes when your home feels aligned. In the rest you finally allow yourself. In the breath you didn't realize you were holding. That's wealth, too. And when you start honoring those soft signals, the bigger ones follow. Part 4, when a plant starts to fade, pay attention. It doesn't happen overnight. One day the plant just looks tired, a little less upright. The leaves, once glossy and firm, start to droop. A brown tip here, a soft spot there. Maybe you tell yourself it's the weather. Maybe you forget to water it once or twice, but deep down you notice, and more importantly, you feel it. Because when something living in your space begins to fade, it's never just about the plant. It's about what it reflects. That's the thing no one tells you when you bring a living object into your home. It becomes a mirror, not metaphorically, energetically. A plant doesn't just sit there. It absorbs, it responds. It picks up on the same air you breathe, the same tension you hold, the same emotional undercurrent you carry from room to room. And when that flow shifts, the plant will be one of the first to show you. Not to punish, not to warn, just to reflect. That's why noticing a fading plant, especially one that once felt vibrant, is an opportunity. Not for guilt, but for awareness. Ask yourself what has changed. Not just in the soil or sunlight, but in your schedule, in your emotions, in the conversations you've had lately, in the way you've been feeling when you come home and when you leave. Often a plant begins to wither not from neglect, but from energy that has grown heavy, stagnant, unclear. It's easy to miss the signs when life gets busy, when our homes become places of routine instead of intention. But your plant won't miss them, because it lives in the middle of it. It breathes what you breathe. And if it starts to decline gently, quietly, it might be inviting you to pause and ask, where else have I stopped thriving? I remember the first time my snake plant began to fade. It had been months since I brought it home. For a while, it was strong, proud, like a little guard in the corner. But then life picked up. Work got stressful. I stopped opening the windows as often. I worked late, skipped meals, rushed through my mornings. I still watered it technically, but I wasn't present with it. I wasn't present with much of anything. I was doing what needed to be done, but not how I wanted to do it. And the plant showed it. Its leaves dulled. One of them cracked slightly at the base. It no longer felt like a symbol of peace in the room. It felt forgotten. And the moment I really looked at it, I saw myself in it. That's when I understood something I now share with everyone I can. How your plant is doing often says a lot about how you're doing. You don't need to make it mean anything mystical. You don't need to analyze every yellowing leaf. But you do need to notice. Because that noticing brings you back into presence. And presence is where change happens. It's where you stop ignoring what your body, your space, your spirit have been trying to tell you. That maybe you've stretched too thin. That maybe you've let in too much noise. That maybe something in your home or inside of you is holding energy that needs to be released. And the beauty is, just like a plant can fade, it can also recover. It can come back. It can thrive again if you listen early, if you shift with it. Sometimes all it takes is moving it to a place with more light, clearing the dust from the leaves, turning it a few inches so it catches the sun better. But more often it takes something deeper. A breath, a pause, a change in how you're showing up to your own space. Are you rushing through your home like a hallway between tasks? Or are you landing in it like a safe place to return to? Are you giving yourself softness, stillness, a moment to reset? Your plant will know. It always does. That's why I no longer see fading leaves as a failure. I see them as whispers, quiet little nudges from the space that's trying to care for me just as much as I care for it. A fading plant isn't a bad sign, it's a gentle request. Pay attention. Something needs light again, something needs warmth again, and maybe so do you. In a culture that tells us to keep moving, keep pushing, keep producing, it's easy to overlook the still signals. But the truth is, the energy of wealth, growth, and peace doesn't push. It responds. It follows presence. It lands where there's space, breath, clarity. So the next time your plant begins to fade, don't panic. Don't blame yourself. Just check in. Ask, where have I stopped tending? What have I stopped nourishing? And what simple act, one glass of water, one open window, one honest breath, can begin to restore the flow? That's all energy needs. A moment of your attention, a shift in your awareness, a soft yes to life again, and the rest will follow. So much of life is invisible. Energy, emotion, memory, mood, they don't sit on shelves or hang from walls, but they fill every room we live in. And whether we realize it or not, our homes quietly echo back the state of our inner world. Sometimes they hold our peace. Other times they hold our pressure. But always they respond. What we place in them, how we treat them, and whether or not we let them breathe, all of it matters more than we think. In this story, a simple plant was never the point. It was a doorway. A tiny decision that said, I'm willing to shift something. And that willingness changed more than one room. It changed the flow of energy. And with that flow came softness, clarity, rest, and yes, a deeper sense of wealth, not just in finances, but in presence, momentum, and peace. That's the real meaning of prosperity, not how much you have, but how much of your life is moving with ease, purpose, and breath. Scientifically speaking, this isn't far-fetched. Our environment affects our nervous system. Visual calm reduces cortisol. Natural elements like plants improve air quality, sleep, and focus. But beyond the science is something even more personal, the way your space feels to you. That's the data that matters most. If your home feels light, aligned, alive, you will too. If it feels heavy, off, or closed, chances are something in you has been asking for change. So let this be a gentle reminder that change doesn't have to be loud. Energy doesn't need a ceremony. Sometimes all it takes is one clear intention, one small object, one shift in how we hold space for ourselves. And when that happens, when the air softens and the mind settles, what flows in next may surprise you. If you've stayed with me through this story, thank you. Not just for watching, but for choosing to reflect. It means you're already doing something rare in today's world, listening not just to content, but to yourself. That kind of awareness is wealth. I hope your home welcomes new light this week. I hope something starts flowing that's been waiting quietly to move. And I hope, truly, that whatever you're inviting in finds its way to you gently and with ease. Take care of your space, and it will take care of you. Thank you for being here.